This video is proudly sponsored by DigimonCard.io for all your Digimon card, deck building, deck list, card pricing, and discussion needs. Hey everyone, Egman here with So You Want to Play Lilith Loop and Omnimon Zwart. It's kind of a unofficial archetype, but it's super fun, it's super cool. It's just kind of the idea of using Lilithmon with Mega Digimon Fusion and getting a bunch of value off one turn, being able to just have Omnimon Zwart come out and being able to swing the same turn it comes out is just a huge amount of value. And you guys will kind of see what happens with it. We're going to talk about the loop in a second, but yeah, just in this video, we're going to talk about the BT5 variant of it. I'll probably make an update video with BT6 because I know there's kind of some more support and it gets a little bit better then and as well. But yeah, we're just going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the actual loop if you haven't seen that before, and we're just going to kind of do a big guide on all the cards that can be in the kind of slots based on how I've been playing it and seeing it. There's honestly just a lot of interaction and personal choice when it comes to a lot of these, so if you don't see a card in here, don't worry, you can still run it, obviously, but this is just kind of a guide to get people into the archetype, get familiar with it, kind of get their first decks with it, and then you can make your personal choices with it, which I really like that kind of deck building, where it just has like a really broad idea of what the list is and how the end game works, and then you can kind of fill up with your favorite cards, your meta choices and everything else, and it makes it like really interactive, even from a deck building sense. So let's go into the loop, and then we'll talk about the cards after that. Alright, so I wanted to go over the loop real quick if you haven't seen it before. It uses a couple cards, but it's pretty straightforward. All you pretty much need is that you need a 5-stack. It can even be out there, but you just have to be able to go into a Lilithmon and go from there. So let's say we're here and we use Lilithmon, we Digivolve there for 3, and then it uses effect. Let's just say you have like at least 10 cards into your drop area, because this Lilithmon just says if you have 10 or more cards in your trash, you turn up to 2 purple option cards from your trash to your hand from Digivolving, so you get to do that, which is really nice. So you search through here, let's just get 2 Jack Raids, right? That's the card you want. There's only one there, that's fine because the other one's in the hand. To get your 2 Jack Raids. And then Lilithmon also has an effect that once per turn, when you use an option card, you gain 2 memory. And it's not exclusive to purple option cards either, which is really nice. And so let's say we use this Mega Digimon Fusion, because we do have our White Tamer out, which is great because you can always just use this card even if you don't Digivolve. Since it's not when you Digivolve, it's a next time you Digivolve. This could just be an easy 2 memory if you need it to be for free, which is nice. But next time one of your Digimon Digivolves from level 6 to level 7, this turn reduce the cost by 6. At the end of your turn, return the Digimon that Digivolved with this effect to the bottom of its owner's deck. Trash all the evolution cards of that Digimon. So really nice there. So we get to do that. We get to gain 2 memory. And then we get to Digivolve into this Zwart for free because it is an Omnimon Zwart. So we just do this here. And so when this Digivolves, which we do for free, once again, it has trash top 3 cards of our deck. Let's say we do that. Then play up to 2 black and or purple cards with play cost of 8 or less from your trash without paying their memory cost. So, for example, 2 common ones you'd get is this guy and also the Chimeramon. So you do that. Chimeramon, it lets you use the effect to pop him, which gains a memory after it gets deleted. So you pop this to pop one of your opponent's dudes there. This can swing in, so you swing in with this, using his effect to return the Lilithmon to your hand, because when attack, you turn 1 level 6 Digimon and this evolution cards to its owner's hand, delete one of your opponent's unsuspended Digimon play cost 12 or less. So you just gotta do that. Boom. And there you go. And then, so that gets the swing in. And if you have the Ty and Matt out, it's an extra 2, which is really nice. And then, if you've noticed, we now have 3 memory again and the Chimeramon. Also, if you have any extra Jack Rays in your hand, you can just, do those. And then you go again with Lilithmon, get them right back. And then it's a new instance of this Lilithmon too. So the next option card you play, you gain 2 more memory, which is great. And so you can just do that again, and then, if you have like another Omnimon out, you can go into another Zwart. This one can't swing, of course, but you can get out, let's see, get your Chimeramon out again. And so, let's see, you have another one down there, so you can get out another Chimeramon. This can pop your Omnimon Zwart that's suspended, because this is going to go to the bomb deck anyway, so you get some more free value off this card. And, I don't know, like a Tapermon. And there you go. So you are able to pop 2 cards with level 5 or less, something with a play cost 12 or less, generate 4 cards on the board now. This goes away, but then you also probably have some more memory to do more devolution. So let's say you need to go into like a Chaos Gallantmon, you can pop your taper to pop something else, and you bring taper back again. Like there's just so many things you can do. This could have been this as well, and so you can gain the memory and then bring back taper words afterwards. It's just a lot of recursion once you get the setup. And the setup is mostly just having 10 cards in your drop rare. You don't even need that. You just really need a white tamer out. You need to be able to go into Lilithmon and just have a couple of cards you need for just the nice cards. Chimeramon is probably one of the best cards for it to have in your trash and everything else. So that's just kind of the main idea. And you can kind of see why this just gets a lot of memory and a lot of card advantage and also pops a lot of cards on your opponent's side of the board. Alright, so talking about Digi-Eggs, I think Demi-Meramon is still probably the best one. Being able to get Cycle and trash cards. Like, the 2 things you kind of need to do with this deck is you have to build up your trash a little bit, and you also have to get some Cycle. Especially since you have to get a little bit of setup in your trash, and, there's a lot of kind of specific cards you can get to see and find to get your stuff off. Demi-Meramon kind of does both, right? It lets you draw 1, discard 1, and gets what you really, really need. I think for your 5th egg, it's either Pokemon, either good. Probably the Aandroidd trash 2 is probably my favorite, but the when attacking trash, the top card is fine as well. And Xiaomon, if you really want just kind of that ability. It kind of sucks. Like, Xiaomon's really good late game if you get there, but Demi-Meramon is just so important, and just filling up your trash is just so important to getting to a spot where you can win, that I just feel like having something that builds your trash is just consistently better for the deck. Going on to our rookies, here's a lot of them. You can really just make some really creative ratios with the rookies if you need to. There's just a lot of cards for purple for that. We've got Gilmon. I'm going to say I've heard a lot of pronunciations and I'm terrible at it. I'm going to say it's like Gilmon. But on deletion, if this card is deleted by an effect, gain 1 memory. This is just insanely good. This is like the first good purple support for memory. We have Jackraid, which we'll talk about in a bit later too, but we just pop our own cards so often that being able to get that extra memory for doing it is really great. We also have Lapramon. I think Lapramon is kind of the same as Demi-Meramon. Being able to just hard cast it, being able to draw 1, trash 1 is just huge. Lets you cycle the cards, help you find what you need, and also gain advantage by playing a rookie. So I think that's really great for the deck too. I think these are probably the 2 that I would consider at least having 3 ofs in your deck, if not 4 ofs, and probably the kind of the most important rookies for the archetype in general. And then we got all these other guys. Goblinmon's really, really great for building your trash early. It's on deletion, which kind of sucks, but being able to draw 2 trash 1 is a great ability in there. Impmon being able to trash top 3 cards of your deck on deletion is great as well, especially if you want to play Beelzemon as one of your megas, so that can be an option for you. Taper is always great. You're not afraid for swinging in, you get to draw a card, you get a little bit aggressive, and we still have some cards that prevent on plays from happening when you play from the trash. So Taper still gets the draw from you when you play from the trash. You just have to delete it first. So there is some potential there, especially with the loop. If you don't want to play Gilmon from there, but you want to play Taper and then delete it with like the Chimeramon that you play out of there, Taper can draw that card if you need that extra cycle. Sukaimon is also good if you need more memory. If you feel like you're getting choked too often and you need that extra burst of memory, it can be really good for that. On deletion, gain 1 memory. I really like Gazimon. I think you should run at least 2 Gazimon for any build. There's just so much memory manipulation going on right now, especially like in the mirror match, that having a Gazimon out can just prevent your opponent from using Jackraids or getting that extra memory boost that they need. And then we also have Demi-Devimon on play, trash top 2 cards of your deck. So I think there's still more cards, and honestly, for any of these slots that we're seeing up to the ultimates, that vanillas, even in ultimates, you can always run vanillas. I don't think vanillas are ever the worst choice in the game for any of these spots. So if you're finding you just need to play a 2-drop really easily or something like that, I definitely consider just playing any of the vanillas. So I'm probably not going to mention any vanillas here, except for I think on the level 5s. But if you're just like, I need to play something cheaper and that extra 1k DP really helps out, then go for it. I think it'll really help you out. But here's just the main rookies I've thought of, and I think they all kind of help the idea of what the deck's kind of looking for. Moving on to champions, I'd say like the 4 on the left are pretty dang good for what they're doing. I think you're fine with just running those. I put Raremon in the end because it kind of helps you out. It's a weird one, but we've got the blocker Devimon, which is just great. You definitely want your blockers, especially since Zwart can play your blockers from your drop area for free instead of whatever you need. Like, if you just need more blockers out, Zwart can just play 2 blockers for free, which is just great. So that can help you out if you're kind of getting aggroed down a little bit and you need that extra protection. That can really help you. Meramon is great because it's even just hard casting it for 5 isn't terrible, and being able to Digivolve for 1 is great as well, since we're trying to get to our tall guys really quickly. We also have the Retaliation Devimon. This can help you out with some like hard removal if you need to. We have a lot of like level 5 destruction, but if your opponent has a level 6 out, it can be a little bit trickier to get there. So Devimon being able to just swing into a level 6 that's already attacked can help. And we also have Raremon. I haven't tested Raremon, but I was looking through cards for the deck, and I'm like, this one's really, really good. You just, on play, reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 option card among them to your hand, then trash the remaining cards. So this card builds your trash, and it helps you find Jack raids, or it can find Mega Digimon Fusion, because it's not color restricted to purple, so you can get white option cards as well. So I need to test out this card some more, but I think he's not terrible, especially since the ratios for this deck are really, really tight because you're trying to play a lot of different cards. And so being able to just play Raremon, maybe you don't even get the drop, but you get to fill your trash for 3, which is great. And it's only a 5 cost to play, and you can go up your chain from there. I'm going to have to try him out some more, but I really like the idea of him, and we'll kind of see how... You guys can let me know if you like him and if you've been testing him out. Next up, we've got our ultimates. This is just where we have like too many good cards for what we've got, and you gotta make some kind of tough decisions. So Lady Devimon, I think, is one of the best for just filling your trash. When Digivolving trigger, draw 2, then trash 2. Being able to do that builds up your drop area, helps you cycle a lot, and it can be really great. Obviously, you have to be outside of the raising area to do that, so that can be a little bit costly, and then your opponent can pop this before you go into your Lilithmon, but if you need to do that, that's fine. Also, your turn, once per turn, when you use an option card, delete one of your opponent's level 3 Digimon that's inheritable, so that can be great, especially since if you got Lilithmon and you need to like pop a bunch of rookies, this can be really great for that. We also got Black War Growlmon from this set. I have a love-hate relationship with this deck just because we have so many cards that have like on deletion effects and everything that we want to proc, and so the Digiburst is great because you get to trash 3 cards and that goes into your trash, and you get to play a rookie for free. So I think he's good for doing that, but then you just have like 2 cards with no sources underneath them. They don't get any of their on deletion effects, and so I think he's good for that, but you have to kind of be careful about him in that regard. And like, you have to build your rookies dependently, and just you won't get a lot of on deletion effects if you really want to max out this Black War Growlmon. But it also has 1 attack inheritable. Once per turn, you delete one of your other Digimon and unsuspend this Digimon. So this can be just great in itself. Obviously having this underneath an Omni Zwart with a mat and tie-up is just a lot of value. So that's something to consider as well. And then we also have a Chimeramon. I think you have to run at least 2, if not 3. He's just one of the best targets to play off Omnimon Zwart for free. Being able to get the pop and then the other interactions with other cards, I think he's just a really, really good card for it. We also have Skull Meramon. It's just hard casting this for 5 isn't terrible. Late game also, if they pop, start popping your stuff, you will probably have access to Jack raids, which will help you get to enough memory to be able to hard cast this and go from there. So I think he has some potential too, just as like a good hard cost. And he also just Digivolves for 2 also, so if you need that memory choke, also there's that. And on the side there, I haven't tested these guys out either, but we've got Cerebusmon. This can just be great as like a mid-tier Lady Devimon, in just the sense that on deletion trigger, draw 2, then trash 1 from your hand. And so you can get Cerebusmon Werewolf mode for free. It is a 9 cost to play, so you can't get it off Zwart, in case you were thinking of that. But just being able to delete your Cerebusmon, and like, you can still do kind of silly things, because Zwart can bring back the regular Cerebusmon, and then you can just Werewolf mode 1 from your hand. So I think that has potential. So you still get your rush and you can swing in, and then you still get the draw 2, discard 1, and everything else you need. So I think there's some merit to looking into these cards, and there's some cool interactions with them as well. But I have not done that yet, so that's just a side if you want to try it out. Going into our ultimates, we definitely want to play Lilithmon. We definitely want to play Zwart. At least 3 of both, maybe 4 Lilith, and probably 4 Zwart is too many, but he's always good in security, so there's that. So normally, what I like to do is 3 Lilith, 3 Omni Zwart, and then 2 other of another Mega, just to like a level 6 Mega, just to kind of balance it out. I'd say the 3 on the top of my list are Chaos Gallantmon. This is also from the new set. When digivolving, delete one of your other Digimon to delete one of your opponent's level 5 Digimon. Level 5 or lower. So it's kind of like a Chimeramon in that sense. Then also, your turn once per turn, when one of your other Digimon is deleted, you may play 1 level 3 purple Digimon card from your trash without paying its memory cost, with no on-play effects. So this can just help you out getting just a bunch of recursion as well, because you get to play cards for free, and you don't lose the cards for them being deleted either. Just it's once per turn, but there's that. So it can help you out a lot, and I think there's a lot of cool interactions with this guy. 2, he is a 4 to Digivolve, so he's a little expensive, but it's well earned for that 4 cost. We also have Anubismon, kind of same thing. When Digivolving, you just play a level 3 Digimon from your trash without paying its cost. It doesn't care about restrictions for your. Let's see. It doesn't care about the on play, so you can play on play effects. So you can Labramon, draw 1, discard 1. Also has a your turn when you play Digimon from your trash. That Digimon gains Rush for the turn, and so you can do some cool plays where you have Anubismon out and then use Zwart on something else, and then you're able to swing with the 2 cards you bring out with Anubis, because Anubismon is like that. So that has some potential too, I think. If you need to, it's definitely a heavy setup to do that. Asking for 2 level 6s out at the same time is asking for a lot, but then you kind of just win the game, so that's cool. We also have Beelzemon. This is just really good for a comeback mechanic, if you're wanting to run Impmons, and you want to be able to just go into Beelzemon and then be after that. If you're able to keep it your turn, you can just make a Digimon fusion to Zwart. I think that's a great, that has the potential to be a really good comeback if you need to. And, always says the Digivolving, delete one of your opponent's level 4 or lower is not bad either. So I think that also merits some testing out as well. Going to our tamers, so we do need a white tamer out, just to be able to play Mega Digimon Fusion. So I like Tai and Matt as well as Takumi. Takumi's just super cheap, being able to play for 2. We're definitely more of a mid-range combo deck too, so being able to slow our opponent just a little bit down from being rushed down from rookies is also very good for us, and just extra cycle when we're looking for such specific cards in our deck and making sure we get the cards we need, I think is super helpful as well. And sometimes you just don't find 4 memory to play Tai and Matt, and they can play around the memory boost with Tai and Matt moderately easily, unlike Takumi, where you just get the free draw as long as you Digivolve out into outside of the raising area and go from there. We also have the purple Matt. I think he's fine at a 1 or 2 of, just because we're kind of fine on memory, and it's more of just a way to return a purple card from your trash to your hand. In case you need to find a card, you trash the wrong cards, you're missing just a piece of your combo. Being able to just use Matt to get it back to your hand and go from there, I think is helpful in its own right. Obviously it's expensive to do so, but it really helps out, and I think it's a good card for it. And then lastly, our options. We've got Jackraid, because it's great. Obviously it's way better late turn, but honestly, just this card in your security is great because you're able to gain the 2 memory, and then it's in your trash, and you can bring it back to Lilithmon. Obviously, we want Mega Digimon Fusion. I'd say only 1 or 2 copies of this, otherwise it gets kind of cloggy. You probably only want to resolve. If you resolve 1 Mega Digimon Fusion, you pretty much win the game as it is anyways, so I think that's fine. And then just some alternative option cards, because we are running Lilithmon if you want some extra kind of oomph. I like Trump Sword just because it just can delete something. Obviously it has to be in active mode, but it's fine. Also, it becomes a 5 cost if you have Lilith out, which is, haven't used the security yet, or the ability yet. We also have Deathclaw, in case if you go super heavy on the delete train and you need some extra ways to delete your own Digimon. Deathclaw is probably one of the best ways to do it. And it has a great security effect. It's just overall great. And it's just a 1 cost too. So if you have a Lilith out and you play Deathclaw, you still gain an extra memory for the first time you play an option card. So I think that has a lot of potential too. But this is definitely a very, very tight list. here is my example list. It's a little, I'd say, generic, but I'd say it's moderately consistent for how I'm testing it and how I'm playing it, and has kind of the stuff you need. So the first thing is that, looking at our rookies, we've got 14, yeah, I can do math. So Lilithmon, Gobblemon, Gazimon, and Galamon. So I do kind of like the deletion of Gobblemon. He kind of, if you just get one of these off, you kind of kickstart most of what you need to do. So I really like that. Also, we've got for our level 5s, got Vilemon, Devimon. I like having 6 blockers, and I don't know. I'm a little specific with how I like my ratios. So I like 3 and 3, just an even split here. There's a lot of cards that don't can't hit over a 6K. And so having Vilemon to do that is great, to just have that block, especially because you get to play it for free later in the game off Zwart if you need to. So having that 6K is better than a 5K. We also have Devimon, just because it is cheaper as well. Meramon we have 3 of because of the cheap cost, and we also have the regular 2 Devimon, just in case we need to swing over some stuff and get that extra pop effect, which is great with Gobblemon as well, so I think that's good. We've got Lady Devimon as a 3 of. You kind of I've kind of wanted to find a room for a 4th one, but I really couldn't find one that I could find, so 3 is great. Obviously you have to bring her out to do so, and you get to the draw 2, discard 2 from doing that, so that's really helpful. And then if you have Goblin underneath it, you're good, because if they try to pop it, you still get an extra cycle, and you can kind of get some more. Chimeramon is great. We've already talked about. Skullmeramon is also good too. If you really like Black War Groundmon, which I do like it, don't get me wrong. You kind of have to choose between Black War Groundmon and Lady Devimon, because you have to run Chimeramon, right? So this one I ran Lady Devimon, but if you like Black War Groundmon, you can maybe take up the Skullmeramons. I just like these two because they're cheaper, and if you need to just hard cast it, it's a fine option there too. We also have 3 Lilith, 2 Chaos Gallantmon, and 3 Omni Zwart. I think this is pretty solid ratio-wise. I really do like Chaos Gallantmon, even though he's a little expensive. He does a lot of work by himself. And then for options, 3 Jack Raids and 2 Mega Digimon Fusions. You can maybe go down to one of these if you need to. Even if you don't use this card, if you bring Lilithmon out and then you're able to play 2 Jack Raids for free, that gets you at least 4 memory, 2 from Lilith, and let's say you have at least 10 cards in your dropper, that's 4. So just being able to get Omni Zwart out for that cheap is great. And then obviously you might not be able to keep it on your turn, but you only pass 2 memory over to your opponent, and if you live, you can swing and you can do Lilithmon, and you can do your other stuff again next turn. So that can have some potential there if you don't get the Mega Digimon Fusion out. And then our Tamers, 1 Matt, 2 Takumi, and 1 Tai and Matt. I think this is okay. If you find that you're not finding enough white Tamers for that, maybe take the Matt out for another Tai Matt, or just take out, just go to 1 Mega Digimon Fusion. I know it's weird to have the deck revolve around that card and only run 1 of it, but you get a lot of cycle, and this is just kind of a win more card. Once if you're able to resolve this correctly, you kind of just win on the spot. And that's really all I have for you guys today. I hope you guys were able to get something from this video. I know it's a lot to talk about, and it's a really complex kind of deck, and it's really, really open-ended, so it's kind of hard to make a really definitive kind of guide for it. But I really just hope that you guys found some cards you didn't think about, you get the good example for it, and you guys are able to play it. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys enjoy, and I'll catch you all next time.